Very closely. Boyce Watkins, professor at Syracuse University, editor of YourBlackWorld.com. Michael Skolnik, he is the editor-in-chief of GlobalGrind.com, also the political director for Russell Simmons. Professor, let's just start with you. Does this shock you the way it shocked a lot of us when we saw these two stories?
Well, it's obvious. I mean, anytime anybody slaps a baby, that's just not going to be acceptable. But, you know, what's really interesting to me is that, you know, clearly alcohol was involved. And my father told me a long time ago that a drunk will tell all secrets. And not to say that he is a drunk, but the fact is that the secret here is that there's a lot of latent racial anxiety that a lot of Americans have that they're afraid to express. And sometimes it slips out. And I think in this case it did slip out because the baby wasn't just a loud baby to him. It was a loud black baby, which made it that much worse. And so he's going to pay a price for that, as he should.
Michael, what do you make of this? I mean, the N-word was used. You want to make that very clear. Do you think this comes from anger, from rage, from stress, or is it just downright some people who are still racist now in 2013?
I mean, Suzanne, I think that in this country, we are certainly going through some growing pains. I don't look at this as a step back. I think these are growing pains of this nation. There are a lot of folks in this country who are trying to push forward, who are trying to push past race in this country. But certainly there's some who are going to walk. There's some who are going to run. There's some who are going to hide in their bunkers. And we got to pull out of the bunker to get to a place. They might wake up one day on Groundhog's Day next year and not see their shadow of hatred and know this spring awakening, this idea of this generation, young generation, trying to push forward, trying to get to a post-racial America is coming, and we're here. So the fact that this man slapped the child and used the N-word is horrific, but I certainly believe, I'm optimistic that this country can look past this hatred and know that a new day is coming.
Do you think, Professor, do you think you have to go through this? You have to have these kind of public things happen to get to waken people up, wake them up and deal with what Michael was saying, which is like, look, okay, maybe these are things in the closet. Maybe you just got to come out with it and deal with it.
Well, you know, I agree that that there are going to be growing pains, that as our country advance, we're going to have those situations where some people aren't going to want to move as quickly as others. And if you go further south, you'll see a lot of this kind of thing happening. I think it's important that we don't extrapolate one incident by one irresponsible person to mean that there are millions and millions of people who think the same way. This was one guy who did something that was really kind of stupid. I think also the important thing to understand is that when you talk about a post-racial society, I don't think that's the goal. I don't think that's a possibility. I don't want a post-racial America because my race, black, is beautiful to me, and I'm glad to be a black man, and I want people to know I'm a black man. So I don't want you to be colorblind when you look at me. I just want you to see me as a black man and to respect me. And people like this guy don't respect me, but I think there are a lot of people who do.
Michael, what do you think about that, the notion that there is no such thing as a post-racial society here, that perhaps that's not the goal, that, you know, we should be very much aware of our differences and celebrate our differences, and we're never really going to get to that fact when people don't notice race?
Well, in all due respect, I think that post-racial does mean that. I don't think it's not recognizing Boyce's color of his skin and celebrating diversity in this country. I think that's sort of the beauty of it. The idea of post-racial, to me, is at least we get to a place in this country where we can celebrate our diversity. We're not ashamed of who we are as a nation. We don't look at a black child and call him the N-word, or we don't look at a child in the delivery room and say, you can't touch my child because you're black. I think we have to get to a place in this country where we no longer look at people for the color of their skin, but celebrate the color of their skin and not judge them because of it.
Professor, I'm going to give you the last word here. One of the things I noticed in this story was that the mother, she said she was visibly shaking. She was so upset with what had happened. She just couldn't understand or believe that this was taking place. These were white parents with the black baby, and they were shocked. They were surprised. They did not know how to handle it. Does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me at all. You know, racism is kind of like the boogeyman that black people talk about, and no that it exists. They think it's all a figment of our imagination. And then when people are sort of hit with it, they're always stunned and shocked that people think this way. But most black folks I know who've really lived an authentic black experience, whatever that means, they know that racism's real, and they know that there are opportunities you won't get because you're black. They know that people look at you differently because you're black. And sometimes you get that wake-up call, and it does slap you in the face. But I'm glad they had this awakening, and I think everybody's better educated because of it.
All right, I think so too. The discussion as well. Dr. Watkins, Michael Skolnik, thank you very much. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Olympian Oscar